Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilbourn, here to announce we have some big wrestler interviews coming your way. Recently, I've had the chance to chat to the likes of DDP, Al Snow, Vicky Guerrero, Ken Anderson, formerly known as Mr. Kennedy. And soon-to-be WWE Hall of Famer, Jeff Jarrett. We're going to be releasing some of the best bits of those interviews over the coming weeks, and we've got plenty more to come in the future too. So make sure you let us know in the comments section below who you'd like to see interviewed next, and follow us on Twitter to be able to send questions. For now though, here's an exclusive clip of my interview with Shane Hurricane Helms, all about his Royal Rumble appearance, his thoughts on the cruiserweights, and a potential WWE return. Enjoy.
One of the main reasons we wanted to speak to you was, of course, your appearance in this year's Royal Rumble match. You came in at number 21, full of energy, and immediately tried to choke slam John Cena. We'll go through your reasoning behind attempting that in a second, but first of all, that crowd reaction was amazing. What was that like for you?
It was awesome. It was the pop of the night. No matter what anybody says, I went back and watched it. It's the loud. It's one of the loudest, but it sounded to me like the loudest of the night. So, Philly is definitely my new favorite city. I kind of, I knew I would get a decent reaction. You got to have confidence in yourself, and I had a good run in WWE, and in Philly in particular, every time I went there, I always, had a good reaction. So, I felt it would be good. I wasn't expecting it to blow the roof off, And I've said this in a couple other interviews. It was so loud I couldn't hear my music.
Yeah, I heard you mention that. That's insane.
I heard the stand. I got that cape that I wear now. I had never worn that cape in WWE. It attaches to my wrist as well, inspired by Macho Man Savage. And I kind of do a spin, my hurricane spin. But with the new cape, I spread my arms out so you can see the wings. But, like I was saying, I heard stand back, and then I couldn't hear the music anymore because of the crowd. So I thought they cut the music off. And, in my mind, if they cut the music off, that means they want me to get my ass in the ring. So I kind of cut my entrance short because I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to show off the outfit and everything. But, then they started in with the holy chant. I was just like, man, this is awesome. And I don't know. I can't thank that crowd enough.
It was an amazing reaction, and I was watching it myself, and we all popped here as well. So when did you know you were going to be in the Rumble?
The confirmation happened a week before.
Right.
So, I think I've been on a list of people to be in the Rumbles in previous years, but because of contracts with other companies or, the years where I was injured, I couldn't do it. But, I guess everything happens for a reason because it was perfect timing for this one.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I saw some stuff on either your Twitter or your Instagram about you sneaking into Philly, because it's all well and good knowing you're going to be in the Rumble, and you can sort of maybe pass off being in Philly for other reasons, but you really tried to sort of stay under wraps when you were coming into Philly for the Rumble, right?
Yeah, the hardest thing, I was on Edge and Christian's podcast recently, and we were talking about how technology and social media has changed the business a little bit. And one of the things I brought up was like how hard it is to keep a secret now, how hard it is to surprise the fans. And I really wanted this to be a surprise because I thought it would make things better for everybody. And of course, WWE wanted me to keep it a surprise, and they were going to do things on their end, to keep it hidden. They actually flew me into Newark, New Jersey instead of Philly.
Right.
And then sent a car to get me and drive me to Philly. And when we got, there's a big tour bus that's waiting for us. And when the car pulled up to the bus, they come out with these umbrellas, and everybody opened the umbrellas, and we snuck out and made it onto the bus, me and Rey Mysterio. So, they did their part. And my woman wanted to go with me, and she's a beautiful blonde, and she's tall, and she stands out. And I was like, oh, my God, baby. I was like, this is going to make it so much more difficult, but we're going to do it. And it really was, because she stands out. Like, sometimes people won't even see me. I could be in a costume and everything, and you still going to look at her. I'm truly blessed with this. So, but she bought a dark wig. I got the hoodie, a baseball hat, scarf wrapped around my face. I either look like somebody that's feeble, sick, or I look like somebody about to rob a bank. But we did it. We just worked really hard and jumped through loops to keep it a surprise. And, you know, I think the fans really appreciated that. Even though there's a lot of people that they want the inside information and they go to the dirt sheets and they want the spoilers, I think this is just proof of how fun wrestling can be when you stay away from that stuff, when you actually do get surprised. Because that's what was awesome about it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things around the Royal Rumble. I always try and avoid like looking at the odds or looking at rumored appearances because, like you say, it's all part of the occasion.
Yeah. Yeah, if you take, because people they'll complain about spoilers and they're reading the spoilers. Like, that's your own fault. You did that shit yourself.
Now, we mentioned your entrance, and I spoke to Vicky Guerrero recently about her appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble and how it was brief, similar to yours. You come in, you attempt to choke slam John Cena, and he sends you to the outside. That almost, in a way, kind of adds to your appearance, doesn't it? You're really not, you're sort of, it's such a moment in time. Was that a thing you enjoyed? Or I know Mick Foley said he wants to see you in there for longer. What was that like?
Obviously, I think we all knew I would get a good one. Did anybody really think it was going to be the pop of the night? I'm not sure, When I came back, of course, it was like, man, we should have let you in there a little bit longer. But honestly, I don't know. That moment with Cena is what people are going to remember.
Yeah.
No matter how, I could have stayed in there 15 minutes, and what they're still going to remember is me grabbing John Cena by his incredibly gigantic neck. That is one of the most muscular necks I've ever grabbed. And I've tried to chokeslam 1,000 people. Just like I did it with Austin and Triple H back in the day. When I went and tried to grab them, and people bring that, they mention that moment to me all the time. And I'll ask them almost every time who won the Rumble that year. And I swear to you, 9 times out of 10, they can't remember. They can't remember who won it, but they remember me going in there and grabbing those 2 guys. So that's what I was trying to duplicate. And it's already happened once, because at an autograph signing this past weekend, somebody asked me this. They were saying about it. I said, man, that was so great. And I said, yeah, who won? And they had to think about it. They couldn't remember right offhand who won, and it was just 2 weeks ago, but they remember me trying to chokeslam John Cena. That's a moment. That's when you're trying to make a memory. And just everybody in that building was united at that one moment, cheering for me to chokeslam John Cena. They're all going to remember that, and I'm going to remember it as well.
One of the big questions that I know people have been tweeting you and certainly were asking me when I said I was going to be chatting to you is whether you would go back there. I know obviously what with 205 Live and you've spoken about that slightly in the past. Is that something you would do if they gave you that opportunity again and to go back and maybe work on that show?
Yeah, if the scheduling was right, the independent scene right now in India is such a, it seems like a negative term, and it has been used in a negative term in the past. That negative connotation really needs to go away, because the independent scene is absolutely on fire, and it's where I see some of the best wrestling. And I watch everything, but still some of the best stuff I see is on the independent scene, and I'm just having such a blast. And once I left TNA, everything just like really erupted again. And last year ended up being probably my most financially successful year since I left WWE.
Wow.
And that kind of says a lot, because I do really well, and I did really well there. So everything's on fire. I got like 40 dates already this year. So
wow.
to go back there, I would really have to, figure it out. And we would have to figure out a schedule, because at the same time, as much as I would like to go there and do a lot of stuff, I'm still 43. And I don't know if 4 days a week of matches is what I need at this stage in my life. And I got a family. The best thing about me having my family late in life is that I'm able to be with them and be with my kids and see them. I don't know if I could take being away from them like the WWE schedule demands. I need to see my kids. I need to see them every week. I can't just disappear, like that travel kind of demands of you. So it would have to be a compromise on, especially the schedule I had back then. And I understand, when you pop in the business, you got to ride that wave. You got to ride that wave for as long as it goes. And there was a time when, I was one of the guys that was on everything. And if I had a day off, they wanted me to do media, and they really, and I did a lot of that stuff gladly. But I don't have that time anymore. I don't have that time to give, because my kids deserve, You know, they deserve a dad, and I'm going to be here for them.
Now, as a former cruiserweight champion, former longest reigning WWE cruiserweight champion, what do you make of the current cruiserweights and what they're doing with them?
Well, athletically, just in all sports, you know, the athletes of today are just better, you know, in everything. And you know, there's a lot of guys that have a problem accepting that. You know, everybody wants to think that their generation was the best, and you know, back in my day, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the reality is, athletes are getting bigger, faster, stronger. They're just getting better. And but I've always been humble enough to say that. You know, if somebody's, you know, could do something I couldn't do, I didn't get mad at them. I would just think that was cool. You know, so the athleticism is out there. There's definitely a lot of promo work that needs to be done. And they're stars, but they're not quite superstars yet. The personalities need to evolve. There's a couple charisma problems, and charisma is something you either have or you don't. So that's really kind of hard to work around. But when somebody doesn't, the company can't put them in a position that requires charisma. You know, you as a company, you have to recognize too, all right, this guy doesn't really have, you know, okay, if you take an Enzo Amore type character who had all of this charisma, but not really that much in-ring talent, figure out a way to utilize that. You know, figure out a way to, you know, that's what Paul Heyman was the best in ECW. He worked to their strengths. You know, if they were great in-ring talent, then that's what they did. If they were a great promo, then that's what they did. You know, and that's really a kind of simple thing that sometimes WWE gets away from. They get away from it too because they kind of have to, because they put out so much content. And at some point, these guys are going to have to step up the game when it comes to promos and the presentation of how they look and that sort of thing. But some of that stuff too also takes time. You know, it just takes time to develop, because I've seen people that I thought didn't have charisma, and then somehow something clicks, and the next thing you know, they're a star. And so they really just need a little bit more time to develop. I think you know, WWE has access to a lot of the former stars that made that division such a success, and that's when they could utilize. So I mean, that's where you would utilize somebody like the Hurricane, or whether it was Gregory Helms, to come in and elevate these guys and show them what it's like to work with somebody that's over, as opposed to just another new guy. And there's a lot of guys, you know, that out there that could do that.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. Might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.